Welcome to Under Review, the most controversial show in the Major Arena Soccer League. My name is Phil Lavanco. That is the head of officials for the MASL, Ryan Cigich. We take the most controversial plays from the MASL, and Ryan gives his opinions on this show. Ryan, our last episode of the season, and we're reviewing the Ron Newman Cup Finals. You would think that there would be a couple of quiet games, but when Chihuahua and San Diego get together, that's never the case.
No way, Phil. Never the case.
Ryan, we're starting out in game one, and Christian Quintana was awarded a blue card for boarding on this play. Moy Gonzalez, in my opinion, I think he tricks the referees on this one. If I freeze it here, you can see that the play starts on the other side of the white line. So I know we're taking safety into consideration on this, Ryan, but for me, this was not a blue card.
I agree, Phil. Not much in this. It's just a push only there. You know, Christian, he does not propel Moy into the board. So push only and the foul only for me.
All right, let's continue along in game one. Tavoy Morgan was called for tripping, in my opinion. The referees got this one correct. A clear blue card. The ball has been released, and he just takes out the opponent. I've got a blue card on this one.
Oh, 100%. Even in the playoffs, it's a hard force for tackle from a distance. No play on the ball. It's very late. Blue card, power play penalty is correct.
Last one from game one. Jorge Leal gets a blue and a yellow. 7 minutes for this play. Now, we don't have any other angles on this, and it's difficult to tell if this was indeed a kick in the penalty area. So I really can't say anything other than if the ref saw it, I have to agree with them.
Well, yeah, and talking to Trimble and Grady, they felt like it was a deliberate kick out. There was force in it to the midsection, total non-soccer play, so they went with a major penalty. From the looks of it, that's the correct call.
Over to game two now, Ryan, and I know you wanted to talk about this mass confrontation at the end of the first half. There's no replays, and TV really didn't catch what happened. So let's take you through it, Ryan. What happened on this play?
Well, okay, Phil. So what started this is when Chihuahua head coach Martinez, he comes out and engages Cesar Cerda at halftime. Then the assistant coach for Chihuahua then escalate the situation. Eventually was red carded for violent conduct. He really was the key troublemaker in this whole thing. Then we had also had soccer's assistant coach Chiqui Luna engage Martinez in front of their bench, and at this point it was just a bunch of pushing and shoving. Things calming down a bit, but then Cerda comes from a distance and attempts to strike Martinez, who then grabs him in the upper chest area, which I think initially was probably an effort to restrain Cerda. He did come up a little high on him there, and you know, I thought Craig Elston, who's generally superb, got caught up in the moment just a bit, with just a bit over exuberance there. And, you know, to be fair, he didn't see the replay either. But a lot going on here. At the end of the day, I think there should have been multiple red cards against both teams. However, the referees Ibarra and Pena, they did their due diligence. They discussed this at length, came to the conclusion that there were no punches that struck anyone, and they decided to keep everyone in the game at this point since it was a championship match. You know, I don't have a big problem with that approach to it in their decision. Had this been regular season, though, I would have wanted to see red cards against Martinez, Luna, and Cerda, as well as the assistant coach for Chihuahua.
Fireworks everywhere in this game, and it was indeed a difficult one to referee. So I'm going to push back and ask you, how do you think the refs did overall in this one?
Well, I mean, I thought Ibarra and Pia did a good job. At the end of the day, they were a non-factor. They didn't make any errors. There were no major injuries with any of the players. I mean, should there have been some blue card penalties? Yes, I think a couple each way. But, I mean, their strategy going in was to control the game and manage the game with fouls and keep everyone in the game if they could. And they were consistent with that. So, you know, we always hear about being consistent. And I think they were consistent throughout the entire game, as well as the knockout game with the bar that they set. I mean, they whistled 55 fouls in the game, and they called the same type of fouls in the fourth quarter as they did in the first. So I think it was the players who really never settled in and really played without continuously fouling.
We want to take a look at a couple of those incidents from this game. The first one is Tavoy Morgan looking for a penalty. in the first quarter. In my opinion, I don't have a penalty here. I think he was looking for contact and goes over Reynoso intentionally.
No, this is never a penalty in my opinion. I mean, Reynoso, he gets to the ball at the same time, and then Tavoy just goes over him. He's not tripped. They did go with top of the arc foul in this case, which, I mean, that's probably fine, but really I don't have much here.
And last play from this one is a 2-foot challenge from Diego Reynoso. San Diego challenges this, and in my opinion, might be the worst challenge of the season. There's no contact at all, and we never judge intent when dealing with these plays. So, Ryan, I've got nothing on this. What about you?
Well, no, we've seen worse challenges, I think. But Reynoso does come out with a lot of force, but I see 100% contact with the ball, no contact at all with the opponent there. So I agree with no foul.
And that's it for another season of Under Review. But before we give our thanks, I want to give a special shout out to Rich Grady, who was the winner of this year's Gino DiPolito Referee Award. Congratulations, Rich. And Ryan, it has been a great season working with you on Under Review. So many people to thank. We want to thank our viewers, most importantly.
Yeah, absolutely, Phil. Shout out from me to Rich as well. I mean, he continues to be superb and just a master at this game, the way he can keep the game under control, communication, always approachable with the players and the coaches. Rich is just superb. I've learned so much from him over the years. And yeah, special thanks to all the viewers. Thank you all for tuning in, and for you too, Phil, for putting up with me all year.
Thanks to you, Ryan, as well, and all the various text messages we received from players and coaches and members of the league telling us we've been wrong for an entire season. So until next year, that's Phil and Rich signing off. That's Phil and Ryan signing off for Under Review.